I'm kind of that witch. I'm kind of that witch. You're getting sleepy. 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 Were you a witch in your past life? Are you asleep yet? Corinne is snoring. I think she might be asleep already. You feel that? Oh. You all right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Did you really got sleepy?
I was knocked out. I was knocked the heck out.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to curse?
Yeah, the hell out?
Okay.
You were knocked the hell out?
Yeah.
Do I need to move this mic actually now that I'm looking?
Just a little bit closer, especially.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Oh, hey.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. So maybe we won't do that before we tell you what the episode is about. Yay.
Yeah.
But that was a good nap.
That was, it was a good power nap. I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about what I came here to talk about today.
And that is past life regressions.
Have you heard of it?
Have you heard of it? Welcome back to I'm Kinda That Witch with Shakira and Corin. That's me. The show where we mix the mystical with the messy, the spiritual with the skeptical, and today, the past with the present. Ooh. Have you ever met someone and immediately thought, you know what? I knew them in another life. This episode is for you. My guest today is the hilarious and mystical Corin Wells,
Hi.
comedian, writer, and powerhouse behind a Black Lady sketch show and the Amber Ruffin show, and a powerhouse at UCB. You can see her performing all the time.
Truly all the time. I'm there too much.
I know. Please get it out.
I'm so tired.
I'm tired.
I love it though. No, I love it. Please keep
fun.
booking me.
Yes, it's fun. We do have fun. But yes, yay! Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm
for
so happy to be
being
here.
Okay.
I love talking about woo-woo stuff. So everything on this table, I'm like, oh my God.
Okay,
Oh,
perfect.
give it to me.
Yay!
Give
I
it to
know.
me.
When I'm so happy we chatted about it
Yeah.
last night because it was, a little throwaway, like, I'm doing this woo-woo comedy podcast and my guest just flaked and who am I going to talk to about spirits and past lives? And you were like, me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to talk
You
to
can
me.
Talk to me about it.
Oh my
Please talk
gosh.
to me about it because I find myself trying to talk to other people about
Yes.
it and they're like, Corinne, go away.
Like, what?
Please.
Please
Leave me alone.
stop.
Leave me alone.
You can talk. Now we know.
Yeah.
This is something we can do
Yes.
more than today for this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, what are past life regressions?
So a really great friend of mine who is also she used to be sort of my spiritual leader,
Okay.
sort of, because she would give me tarot readings. We would do all these manifestation practices, and she was like, when my grandfather passed away, she was like, I want you to read this book called Many Lives, Many Masters.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay, you're telling me to read it. I really don't read nonfiction.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, girl, I guess. Wow. And I breezed through it. And it's about this man who is a psychiatrist or a psychologist. There is a difference. I don't know which one he is.
He's a therapist.
Yeah, he's a therapist.
Yeah.
And he, through hypnosis, one of his patients was able to regress into her past lives to heal a lot of the trauma that she was experiencing in her present day.
Yes.
And so that's what past life regression is. It's a form of therapy, hypnotherapy,
Okay.
that takes you into past lives, assuming, we all have many of them,
Yes.
many lives. And through what we experience in those lives, we carry over into the next lives and stuff. And so it's like a therapy that allows you to identify those traumas and then try to heal those traumas. But there's so much in it that is so cool.
Right? It's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a perfect definition.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, that was amazing. If our souls are like a drop in a bucket of water, this is just like one lifetime in that bucket.
Yes.
So, Yeah. Have you ever done one?
I haven't, and I'm
Okay.
scared because I'm afraid of like snake oil salesmen. I'm like, I don't want someone to like be like, yes, I do this thing, and then they're like not legit.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to find legit.
Well, you know what's
people
crazy?
to do
Because
it.
I have done one. I think I told you a little bit
You
about
told me
it.
a little about. I need to hear the
Yes,
whole story.
okay. I mean, have you ever had, just, it was just cringe. It just felt cringy, but initially I was so excited, and I just had to stay open-minded, and I paid for 3 sessions up top, so I got all 3 sessions just in case anyone at home was worried about how my money went, what I wasted it on. So I went in for the first session, and I remember, I think I mentioned, I was like, trying to work and be successful because in my career, and like her idea is like, okay, let's see what those blocks are. Okay, so these are the things that you feel. She was, first off, obsessed with me being 130 pounds, which she was like, when we first went into our first thing, she's like, you have your perfect star body, 130 pounds or less. And it's this old white woman in Beverly Hills area in like this apartment.
Yeah.
And at one point she was like talking about her, like, dating life and how she knew her ex so I was like, okay, like the snake oil salesman part was like, is this great? But the hypnosis part was like, it's really interesting being hypnotized because you're kind of like in reality but not, and you're trying to figure out what part of your brain is in its subconscious and what part of the brain is just like making shit up.
Right.
So for me, I knocked out. I had an experience. I am trying to figure out if this was like an actual past life or was this just my mind in a hypnosis state fabricating stuff.
Yeah.
So, but there's no like test to this kind of woo-woo. But some people have a knowing. Some people, like, I feel like with Brian Weiss and his patients in that book, specifically, it was so clear. And and
because like there were moments where like he wasn't talking to that person.
Yes.
He was talking to a legit other human.
There was no moment like that for me in my 3 sessions. There were moments where she would be asking me stuff during the sessions, and she'd be kind of trying to like program me to get out of my thinking brain and into my subconscious and tap into memories. And then she also, like maybe the first, second, and third session kept reminding me that she was Black in a past life. She used to be a slave, and she had a fro that was bigger than mine. She had this cute curly hair when she was a Black girl in Baltimore, where I'm from. And I was like, interesting. And then she was like, we were right on the Mason-Dixon line, and I got to freedom at one girl. And I remember being like, okay, let's talk about something else. Because I wasn't given what she wanted.
Oh, my God.
And I felt like she was just waiting. Oh, I can't wait till I get a Black patient so I can tell her how I was Black in the past life. So I was like,
don't do that. First of all, don't talk about yourself.
Yeah.
This isn't about you right now.
Yeah.
Second of all, girl, what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Congratulations?
Yeah. And then it had me thinking, like, I mean, how do you feel if you found out in a past life session you were a slave master?
I wouldn't tell anybody, I'll tell you that. I would keep that to myself, you know? I think it would explain why I date a lot of white men. I don't know.
Yeah, you know?
But, I mean, keep that to yourself.
You keep that to yourself.
Ugh.
Yeah. Especially as a white woman living in Beverly Hills talking about my favorite past life was when I was a little Black girl to a Black woman.
Talking about her fro also is crazy.
It's crazy. It's fetishy.
It is fetishy.
It was like,
it
okay.
is.
Yeah.
It's like that's a personal thing.
Yes.
You have that information. Keep that information.
Keep that
for
information.
you, and use it how you see fit. I don't know, to better the lives of Black people.
Yes.
Rather than making them very uncomfortable when you're about to hypnotize them.
Exactly.
Well,
how about that?
How about that?
Know which one? All of them. So I guess, how much does your past life impact your current reality, or do you think?
I would be so interested to know.
Yeah.
I feel like it does, and I identify as Christian. However, I believe everything is true.
Okay,
I believe
love.
every single thing is true, because if you do believe in source or God, then it is a limitless, ideation that can encompass all of it. So I like try to make connections. Like when I think about past lives, I'm like, oh, are people who suffer from schizophrenia just people's
Not
like
being able to fully be
their-
present in this reality.
and their past lives are trying
their past
to
person.
take over.
Take over.
Right?
Yeah.
But I would be very interested to know, because I do think that there's something to it. I think that I just think there's so much unexplained stuff when it comes to our human souls, and how we are all connected, and how
Yeah.
I need to be high for this, and how time is just like layers and layers, and we
What
all
is time?
exist at the same
like,
time.
what is time even?
Wait, is it?
Because I used to be British in a past life, is what I learned. And here I am, it's coming out.
Okay.
I'm not even who whoa. Shakira's, oh my God.
Shakira,
Whoa.
who is that?
I don't know. I think it was somebody I used to be.
What was her name?
Her name was, oh my gosh, she's trying to channel me.
Oh my God.
Oh my
let
God.
let it out. Let her through. I
Her
want to
name
talk
was
to her.
Tabitha Mary Beth.
Tabitha
Mary Beth.
is so nice to meet you.
She was a witch. She was burned at the stake.
Oh God,
She
that
came over on the
sucks.
Mayflower.
That sucks. I'm so sorry that happened.
I'm so sorry it happened to you, Tabitha. Wow. Okay. I'll go do a podcast, Tabitha. You gotta go away. Okay. She's tapping out.
Whoa. Crazy.
Okay, the spirit of this
You
room.
I just really tapped into something.
I just tapped into something.
And the fact that your previous life was a witch and you're doing this podcast, I think there are connections.
Wow.
I think there are connections.
Speaking of, our sponsors want to know, would you like I'm a kind of that witch cocktail?
would love. Would love.
Love.
Can I actually?
You
have
actually
this?
can open
oh my
this.
Goodness.
There's a bottle opener right here.
Oh my goodness.
See, I take care of my guest.
Yes.
Could have had the bottle open closer.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Make me work for it. You're
Now
gonna
you're
watch
really-
me struggle to open this. I'm that witch.
She's kind of that weird.
Kind of that witch.
Ooh, we love. But what were you saying before
Tabitha
took
came
over?
through?
Yeah.
I do want to know, like, so we know Tabitha, but do you feel like that you've traveled places where you're like, I've been here before, or do you feel drawn to places that you were like, there's a familiarity
Yeah.
with?
Yeah, there's
know?
definitely been places or like people and things like that I'm like, this has happened before. Or I
Yeah.
know, like, because one of the ideas too with past lives is that we cycle with about 200 of the same folks, like in and out. And at one point, my mom might have been my dad, and I might have been her father, or and granddad, and I don't know why I'm obsessed with fathers right now, but at one
We
point,
gotta tap into something.
let's tap into that.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this last night. But
Yeah.
the reason my friend recommended that book to me was because my grandfather passed away.
Yes.
And I always thought, like, out of everyone in my family, like he was like my guy. Like,
Yes.
that's my person. We get each other, and in the book it explains, like you said, like there are groups of people that we sort of travel through these lifetimes with. Some of them we may cross paths with in a lifetime, some of them we don't.
Yeah.
But they are essentially like our soulmates.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what helped me was that, like, I lost him in this lifetime, but I will see him again, which I think is a really beautiful way to look at death,
Yes, I
and
agree.
also to handle grief.
Yes.
So yeah, and it's also really funny because like a soulmate could also be a person that kills you too.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
like-
because some lifetimes we come into be the killer, and sometimes lifetimes we come in and we're killed.
Yeah.
Like we serve different purposes in every lifetime. I also have a similar thought with my grandfather that I definitely lived different lives with him, and was definitely my person.
Yeah.
And so it gives solace and, you know, hope and, you know, through the grief of like, you know what, I'm going to see this person again. And I don't know
In what capacity.
and what form will be, but I do know that this was just one of many lifetimes that I spent. And that's also too how you fall into these things where you're like, I feel so connected to this. How do I, because I think that's what happened why I decided to go to past life regression, because I'm like, of course I ended up reading the Many Lives, Many Masters, Brian Weiss, and I read his other book, and I remember being like, okay, maybe I'm connected to someone, and if I can tap into this past life, I can find them and figure out who it is, partner-wise. But then I was also thinking, like, I've lost people, and I wonder what lives I've lived with them, and like, you know, like, if it would bring anything up. Which, although I don't know how valid my experience was, but I did experience seeing different things, and she wasn't like telling me anywhere. Most of the time it was like you're walking through a door, and you're like, or you're in a field, and what do you smell? What, like pulling things out, where she didn't want me to like feel like she was shoehorning anything in, so she was helping me like pull things up that I'm like,
that seems more legit than what she was given before. But there were moments where I was like, this is great, okay, and maybe I'll do a few more sessions. I was like, I can get past her own, because a lot of the stuff that she was talking about being black in a past life was like her ego being like, let me show off my big curly fro, and it's like, I don't know who you think you're showing off for. This isn't for me. I do not care.
I do not care, not one bit. So
so like what did you see? What was your
one of them, I remember feeling like I was a wealthy, like woman in Asia, I believe. And I was thick, and I remember I was eating, and I remember I just felt like catered to. And I was like, this is pretty great. And then there was another one where I felt like I left my family and I died in like a war or something. And those two felt the most, where I was like, those felt like real things came up. And it's funny because I did like psychic reading, and one of the past lives, she was like, she didn't say Asia, but she said like I was like a cared for woman, like just based off of reading my, you know, chart, like my chakras and tapping into past lives.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Very great psychic I love named Jude. She has a podcast called Spirit Speakers. Well, she used to. She ended, but nonetheless. I found her through her podcast. And so if you need a psychic, Jude,
I think I might
Patty
have
and
to
Jude.
hit you up. Because I feel like I haven't done enough, because I do think there is like a slight hesitation with like spiritual stuff, because it's like I do think that you have to protect your spirit from so many things, and it's like hard to trust people. And it's like people can do damage to your spirit, guys. I don't know if you know, but they can. And so I've been very hesitant to do like any sort of like real in-depth psychic reading. But like I've had my chart read. No past life stuff though, which is really
interesting. It just didn't come up?
It didn't come up. I also don't think he had the knowledge of it. He had like, you know, basic astrology reading stuff. But no past life stuff, which is what I feel like I'm most interested in. Because I also like, there is, this feels like a crazy thing to say, but like I do feel like this is my last go around.
Really? Like, you do feel like this is your last human life? I love that.
I do. What I'm doing with it, comedy.
You're doing your best.
I'm doing improv comedy with it.
Comedy.
But it does feel like, okay, I think my karmic lessons might be done. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Not to say that I'm complete in any way, but
also too, this is one of the things that came up when I met with that psychic was that she said I had a lot of past lives as a different creature.
Oh,
like I'm
that's
not
fun.
normally a human.
Yeah.
I don't take this form often. And I was like, that's why it's hard for me. I was like, and I won't be back unless they tell me I have to. And I was like, please, oh Lord, please let this be my last human lifetime.
It's so hard.
It's work. It is
It's
work being a
hard.
human.
And I'm gonna make the most of it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do this again.
Yes.
I do not want to do this
I promise
again.
we're not doing this again. You hear me? We're not doing it again.
Just let me come up and
Yep.
let me be a part of Source. Let me be a master. Let me graduate to the masters.
I said I'll be anything else. I'll be anything else. I was a starseed before, is what I was told. Illyrian starseed or
What is that?
Lyran. So starseeds are kind of like ETs, like
Yeah.
we were from a different planet.
Yeah.
Just another form that our soul can
Yeah.
exist in another, not a human lifetime, but like another lifetime.
Yeah.
So I've spent a lot of lifetimes that and Lyrian and I believe Syrian. And basically the idea is that there's these, I mean, because the galaxies are so big, there's other galaxies where whole existences are orbiting around different suns. And there was a planet, I can't remember which one got exploded, but or destroyed over time. But either way, started off on one planet and then ended up on another planet and then came back to Earth, spirit soul wise, to learn some lessons. And I'm learning.
Listen.
I'm learning. But those experiences are like considered 10th, 11th, 12th dimensional, higher vibration, less contrast probably.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they move faster. You know, like what we see of aliens, like when people have the spottings, they're usually like boom, boom, pow.
Yeah.
So, you know, some people say they tap in and can channel with like language and meditation to tap into starseeds. But yeah, so
That's so cool.
that was some of my lifetimes,
Yeah.
which didn't come up during the past life regression therapy
Yeah.
session, but when I was talking to Jude about them.
You have to give me Jude's information.
I got to give you Jude's info.
I got to talk to
She's
Jude.
great.
Yeah.
She's great. And she read my chakras. Like, I gave her nothing. She's like, okay, you be quiet. And like, everything was so on point.
Oh
I
my
was like,
gosh.
and the thing is, she has a podcast that I listen to religiously.
Yeah.
So I already trusted her.
Right.
And then when she read me like a book, I was like,
Yeah.
You're right, girl. You see me.
You see me for who I am. Do you follow like human design?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love human
What
design.
are you?
I'm a manifester.
I love that.
What are you?
I'm a projector.
Ooh,
I have to
okay.
wait. I have to wait for the
Yeah,
invite. And boy, was that a hard thing to learn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta like, you're a bird on a tree. You're watching
Yep.
folks figuring it out.
Figuring it out. I see the bird's eye view of all of it.
Yep.
But they got to let me know when to come in and help them. They have to ask me for help. I see how to do
See?
it. Yeah.
You just gotta ask.
Yeah.
You hear that? This
Ask me.
Ask.
I can do a lot of stuff that isn't manual labor.
we love.
What flavor is this?
It's just like sparkling water.
Oh, it has like a
But it has a little sweet little
it has
tang
a
to
sweet
it, right?
Little tang to it. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Isn't it nice? But yes, if you were to have lived lives, which like, if you could be anybody like Cleopatra or Napoleon or.
If I were to, I don't know that I would want like a big figure's life because
Yeah.
it seems like every major figure for the most part, it ends in tragedy of some sort.
Damn. Yeah.
I'll say like I would have loved to be like a part of Shakespeare's original company.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, just like on the ground floor, being a little theater freak.
Okay.
But not him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be him.
And do you think Shakespeare was real? Or was Shakespeare a black woman?
I mean,
Because I've heard that rumor.
I've never heard that.
You've never heard that
I've
rumor?
never heard that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or maybe not a black woman, but a woman. I'm pretty sure it was a black woman.
Oh,
though.
that's cool.
Yeah. There's a whole
never
conspiracy
heard
theory that it was just like a cover up because
Yeah.
you couldn't, as a woman, be a
Yeah.
playwright.
Oh, that's
Yeah. Very interesting.
All right. Well, I know where 5 hours of my life are going to go this afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so deep on the web. But like I asked you earlier, like, are there places that you're drawn to? And I think that, like,
what about you? Are there places you're drawn to?
I feel like Ireland, very much so.
Yes.
I always wanted to go there as a kid, and I finally went there on a solo trip, and like it was the best experience I've had. Like, I would say like top 5 best experiences I've ever had. And it did like feel like, you know, when you go places and you're like, oh, this feels like home.
Yes.
It felt like home to me. Like I belonged there.
Yeah.
And also, and I know like it's very like, you know, common to say, oh, I want to go to Japan, but there is like I feel it in my gut, like something is pulling me there, and I haven't been yet.
You know what Bali was that for me? It
Yeah.
felt like before I even went, it was that feeling, that pull. I literally said a prayer, and I was like, if I die young, please let me go to Bali first.
Yeah.
And it had been on my list for a while, and then I got there, and I was like, yep.
Yeah.
This is
I've been here before.
Yeah. I've been here before.
Yeah.
And there was a person I met when I was in Egypt, and I remember he reminded me of my grandfather, actually, oddly enough. He was a bartender at the place we stayed, and I just was like, okay, so like my spirit just was like, something about this feels like right. Something feels aligned.
There's just something like a visceral like feeling that is just like, this is where I either need to be or where I belong. And I feel that very strongly for like Japan, like Kyoto specifically.
Oh, you gotta go. You've been?
No, I have not been.
You have not been?
I have not been.
Oh, you can do Zip Air. Zip Airline. This isn't an advertisement for Zip Airline. That's what this whole episode is.
Are you looking to fly to Japan? Go Zip Airline. They're gonna zip you through the skies.
Budget airline.
Love it.
Tasty enough meal. Seats more spacious than Spirit Airlines.
Well, that's not saying much.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
The seats recline too.
Oh,
Not
all the
lot.
way?
No,
Oh.
girl, it's a budget airline now.
I know.
You can get there for $500. You think you get round trip $580?
Round trip? How long
$580
is that
round
flight
trip.
from here?
I want to say 8 to 10 hours. It's not
Okay,
bad.
that's a night's sleep.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think from Cali you go this way versus this way.
Yeah. That's
how
not bad.
Yeah.
500 round trip. Then okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Zip
might be a
Airline
little
and
more-
Jude.
Yep.
And Shakespeare was a black woman.
yes. We've
We're
learned
learning
a lot.
so
We're
much.
learning.
We're learning so much.
Yeah,
I think that I was like, well, because like you think about it, right? All the history of this world, so much death has happened.
Yes.
And so it's like so many souls were recycled like back into the world, and it's like I feel like maybe a lot of people are drawn to Japan because like during feudal Japan and like the Edo era, a lot of people died.
A lot of people died.
And those people are back.
Yeah.
And they're like, I gotta go back to Japan.
And I got to go back and visit where I, didn't feel like I finished.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I'm always interested in with these human lifetimes is like, do you come back and have multiple lives because you feel like you didn't finish, or because you have to karma cleanse, or like how many times do you think people have to come back? Like,
I don't know. I mean, so I have a theory.
Okay.
And I think like this is an astrological theory, and it is based in nothing.
Ooh, we love.
So your north node is like your node of fortune.
Yes.
Right. And I think That and your south node, they're just kind of opposite.
Yeah.
I think whatever degree your no, I believe it's like 29 is like
Yes,
the final
29 is
degree,
like, yeah.
and I think that is indicative of how many times you have either been here or have left to be here.
Really?
Based in nothing. I'm talking out of my ass, people.
And we love to hear it.
But this is what I mean
Yeah.
when I say I believe in everything. I think
Yeah.
it's all connected, and I feel like
Oh, I definitely feel like,
Yeah.
astrology is like, literally, it's just patterns.
It is.
Even with like the Pluto being in Aquarius right now, and that being a huge thing that people don't even know about or understand. And I'm like, yeah, the patterns, the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, it was like the French Revolution, the American Revolution, this revolution. It was like 5 crazy revolutions and a bunch of technology.
Yep.
And Pluto is the planet of life, death, and rebirth. So right now, we're dying. We're in our death era.
America
we're in our
is
flop era.
gone.
We're
We're
gone.
flopping.
We are flopping.
Yeah.
Oh, I also forgot to mention at my 3rd session with that woman, she had bugs on her couch at some point.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if I was in a past life or I was getting bit up in real time. But I remember I'm like kind of like on the couch, laid out, in and out of consciousness, scratching, itching. Giving, I can't say crackhead, can I?
It's your podcast.
Yeah, I can say whatever I want. Giving crackhead.
I remember you told me that, and I was
know.
like, I think it was your past life.
Yeah.
I think you were
it
getting
was.
eaten
I was
by
getting
bugs.
eaten in my past life.
Yeah.
That was when I died in the field at war.
Yeah.
And I never went home
Oh
to my
my
family.
gosh.
And you know what was interesting about that past life where I was like, I felt guilty because I had preferred to be at war than be at home with my family.
Oh, man.
I didn't want to raise them kids. And I said I didn't want
That's also real.
Yeah.
though. That's also real.
And then the other one, I was just eating away. And
I love that.
I was like, is this a fantasy dream
It's
or
like
is this a
studio,
past
yeah,
life?
it's like a Studio
Yeah.
Ghibli. You were a Studio Ghibli cartoon.
Catering to me. Let me eat some more.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But yes, I guess too, how much science plays into past spirituality? Because like how I see science aligning is like if this is energy, we're all energy, and inevitably, that's the whole thing. It's just energy.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, I hate that there's such a divide between science and spirituality, because I think they need each other and they
Yes.
feed each other. And I feel like we could unlock so much
Yes.
if the two would just get over themselves.
Yeah.
Like,
But I feel like that's very intentional because spirituality leans more into the feminine.
Yeah.
And we live in a very patriarchal society. So they're
Yes.
like logic, reason, math, points. That's all that counts. Nothing else
Yes.
matters. Which really
There's a
isn't.
balance.
It's a balance. And when we're like out of yin and yang.
yeah. I literally took the words out of my mouth.
Right?
Yeah.
We're in our flop era because
Yeah.
of it. It's like,
Because we've leaned too far into masculinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and patriarchal ideology.
yeah.
But like both matter and
Yes.
both are important. It's just we have to find the balance between the two.
So if you were the president
Of the United States.
of the United States, what would your first thing to do to get the balance of the two correct?
Oh my god.
In alignment. How would you get us in alignment?
God, what a
Good
Jesus.
luck.
I think it starts with education.
Yes.
I think educating everyone about everything from the very beginning and making sure that everyone has access to the same amount of material, and also paying teachers enough.
Yeah.
Just
So they don't have to have guns in
my
their
God,
classrooms.
Yeah,
And
I think at the end of the day, that's what it starts with. It just starts with education and people being open to learning other ideas without judgment, and not being forced to subscribe to them. It's just learn about them.
yeah.
If you don't agree, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Just know about it.
At least know about it. I did look up some history of past life regressions, and they started, well, one of the time, I don't know if it started, but I'll say it goes back to ancient India, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. I could have really destroyed that. I hope I didn't.
I don't think you
Dating
did.
back to the 2nd century BCE. And they discuss the meaning of reverse birthing. This technique involves meditative practices to explore past experiences, including past lives. And that's also, too, one thing with indigenous cultures and like, earlier times with humanity when we were a little more in alignment. And we've always, had wars and death and murder and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But there were times where we were tapped into our witches.
Shout out to the witches.
Shout out to the witches. Shout out to the witches.
Shout out to the witches.
There we go. Cheers to that.
Yeah. Cheers.
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 Cheers. But yes, and then they also, the modern era, it got introduced by hypnotherapist A.R. Martin. He pioneered the use of hypnosis for past life exploration, and he published researches in reincarnation and beyond in 1942. So that's how it got over here in the West. And yet, did y'all know about it? I don't know that people even knew.
No.
Yes. Here we are.
And this is a slippery slope because I'm about to jump on a soapbox.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, I just feel like we should be learning from the indigenous people who have been on this land for centuries, not just for spirituality purposes, but also for agricultural things.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And maybe things wouldn't be on fire. Oh. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just, and even like as a Christian, like I still am aware that Christian is a very new religion compared to, like
the dinosaurs. And how do you feel about them?
They were here.
They were here.
They were here.
Yeah.
We don't know what they look like.
Oh, now that I'm thinking of Christianity and. Well, Jesus kind of lived one life and then was reborn, but
it is a reincarnation story. Yes, and no one wants to talk about that.
Nobody wants to talk about it.
And if you look at the version of the Bible that we have right now,
the King James,
King James version, or any other bootleg version that they're trying to peddle, is like it is a series of books picked out by a governmental body. To say, hey, this is what we want our people to believe and follow. There are other ancient texts that have not been included in it.
Yep.
And some of those ancient texts talk about reincarnation.
Yes. Yes, yes.
But also, this is a comedy podcast.
Yes. Laugh track.
But I don't know. I just feel lied to.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm trying to think too. Was there any other? Because he raised people from the dead.
Yeah.
I guess too. I wonder. Well, Jesus, when he came, if he comes back again, it wouldn't be like that. Would be another reincarnation. That would be another past. Like that Jesus life would be another.
Yeah. It would.
And I guess too. What do you think? How many people do you think have multiple lives? Like for me, with one of the things that stood out with that therapy session, that psychic session, was that. Well, she said I had past lives and different incarnations and different realities and spheres and different planets. So I'm guessing like 29 degrees. Is that 29 human lives or just 29?
What a great question. I haven't thought that much about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was talking out of my ass, but it was just me trying to make connections. I think I feel like you can be born at like the second degree of your north and south nodes multiple times. But if you're at your 29th, I think that's your last one. I'm at my 29th.
Oh, I only have one 29 degree thing in my chart, and it's Lilith, Black Moon Lilith.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
And that just got added because Channy, not to plug another person
that's
not here.
We got to shout out Channy Nichols.
Channy Nichols. She's that girl.
Shout out Aliza Kelly as well.
Oh, I love Aliza.
We love her.
She's great. But my Black Moon Lilith is at 29 degrees, and I've just started to even learn what that is, which it's kind of like the shadow side of the moon. But my moon is in Leo, so I'm like, oh, my black moon Lilith is in Scorpio, and it's at 29 degrees. It feels kind of sexy.
It is sexy.
I was like, this is pretty sexy. This is like the sexiest new placement on my chart that I did not even know I had. I was like, let's lean into that.
I've only like looked a little bit into like degrees.
Yeah.
I just know like the fame degrees because that's what I'm concerned with.
Yeah.
Like 5, 17, and 28.
Okay. Yes.
I have none of them in my chart.
None?
Yeah, and no Leo placement.
You don't have any? Oh, I have a Leo moon, which is just like, yeah, of course. I said, let me make a podcast and do this. I'm sorry, y'all. It's in my blood.
It is.
It's in my blood. I have a 5. Yeah. One of my Leos is at 5, but it's like not a real planet.
Yeah.
Oh, no, actually, it is a great planet. It's Jupiter.
The planet of abundance? Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's in the 4th house of, like, family.
Yeah. I have a lot of 4th house stuff.
Do you want kids?
I don't think I can have them, but I do. I do feel like I was put on this earth to be a mother. I don't know in what capacity, whether it's like adopting or fostering.
Oh, that's fun. That's great.
Yeah, like the goal is to make a lot of money, give my parents a great end of life, a great comfortable end of life, and then just give money to kids who need money, or give like a home to kids who need a home.
Oh, we love
like, that's
this.
what I want to do. But yeah. I think like the only like hint of fame or recognition in my chart is my my midheaven is in my 10th, or like wait, no, that's my Gemini is in my what am I saying?
Yeah.
What am I trying to say? You know, Gemini's up there in my midheaven, and it's 10th house. And that's where my moon is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where my moon is. So but yeah, I'm not meant to be.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
Yeah. So, and it's also kind of like a balance, because some people's charts I look at and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
you know, you never know because what I've learned specifically for my chart, and for those who don't know much about astrology, kind of like the signs, if this was a cupcake, I would say like the main cupcake is like your star signs, like Virgo, Leo, and all of the signs. And then I would say the icing is kind of like the houses that they're in. And then the sprinkles on top are like the degrees. And then all the that's kind of the main.
I think that's
the
pretty
main
much
stuff.
it.
Yeah. And then like your main 3 things in your chart are your moon, sun, and rising. Sun, moon, and rising is usually how people say it. And that's like kind of body, soul, and mind. We're gonna do a full astrology episode. Don't worry.
I can't wait to listen to it because I love it.
But yeah, my 10th house Aquarius, which I was like not paying attention to. Yeah. Because, you know, I don't have like the Leo, I'm focused on this Leo moon thing. But 10th house Aquarius is like the house of career. 10th house is the house of what you should be doing to make your career. So it means I should be doing alien woo shit. So I was like, this whole time I've been trying to like just focus on being like acting this, you know, just checking the boxes of what I think I should be doing versus what brings joy, sparks joy. Yeah. So just like getting to, you know, you're not for everybody, and what you do is specific for what you think is funny and playful. Yeah. And I need a mix of comedy and woo-woo. So here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
But back to our main subject.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
I could talk about any of it.
I know. I'm like,
forever.
Look at us. Do we want to? I mean, I was considering doing a session, but I don't know how we would do that.
I mean, we can try.
We could. Let's try.
Yeah.
Yeah. That indoor, we can do like and with breath work, which is something I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do what you do. Yeah. Let's do it.
So Yay, guys, we're going to end with breath work this episode. I'm a certified breathwork practitioner here in LA, which basically means I got a certificate from like some random guy who said he was a certified breathwork practitioner.
No, talk your shit.
Yes,
you know your shit.
I know my shit. The first thing we do when we come into this life is we take a breath, and the last thing we do when we leave this life is we take a breath. So I'm gonna lead you guys through maybe 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. I'll set a little timer of breathing. And a lot of times with breath work, I like to set an intention. So whatever, you want to bring in, or if it's nothing you want to bring in and you just want to release stress or just something to focus on. Then with breath work, sometimes 1 minute is just like to kind of get you out of when you're like stuck. But I do sessions that are like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
so
that's so cool.
Yeah, and we do conscious connected breathing. And there's going to be a full episode on that one as well. So yes, let's jump in. Okay. So we're going to do a 3-part breath, 2 inhales through the nose, 1 out of the mouth. And we can start, and I'll give some affirmations. Maybe let's just do a deep breath first, just like, good job. And if you're driving, don't do this. Okay, let's jump into the breath. You're doing great work. You're safe. You're protected. You are here in this body. You are home. Inhale the good stuff. Exhale the bad stuff. About halfway through. Just 5 more seconds. Let's make these last few breaths our biggest ones. One more. That was great. Yay. How do you feel in real time?
I feel really relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
It's very cleansed. Yeah.
So I love breath work for that reason. It's something that's so accessible to all of us, and we know very little about and do very little of outside of our shallow breathing gets us about 30% oxygen. We breathe to about here. And when we do breath work, we're getting up to like 70% more oxygen, which inevitably gets our blood flowing, gives us clarity, and does all of the fun stuff. And if we had more time, we'd do a real hypnosis and tap into
some past lives.
But I'm also not a therapist. So that's a disclaimer for all of it. I just like to talk about the stuff I've tried and have fun.
I love that. I have to book you for a session.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
Yeah.
Yes, Breathwork Baddies. That's the name of my company.
That's great.
You can find me on there and slide in my DMs.
Okay. All right. Hey. I will.
Yeah. Or you could just tell me here.
No, I'm gonna be professional about it.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that is the episode of, I'm Kind of That Witch. Thank you for being here, and
Thanks
go
for
follow.
having
Oh yeah, do you want to
me.
plug anything?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at charity_Corin. And yeah, I don't know. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All my tags at Shakira Pay on Instagram, TikTok, Red Note, Blue Sky. I just got Red Note for that one moment, that 24 hours where TikTok went black.
It's still on my phone.
Yeah, it's still on my phone. Occasionally I click it, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is fun. This is cute.
It's cute.
I gotta go to Asia.
I gotta go to China.
Yes.
I hope we still can.
In Japan.
Yes.
That
And Japan.
In Japan.
I'm coming.
But yes, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.